back door. Mum walks through the gate. "We'll make one more stop before we go home," she says. "Where?" "The Whittingtons. They're expecting you so you can apologize to Caroline." "What?" I stop dead. My feet have forgotten how to move. Leaving school and losing my part in the play. I thought that was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I was wrong. "But I told you," I say with a growing sense of desperation. "I didn't even start that fight." "It doesn't matter who started it. You took part in it. And if Mrs. Whittington stops asking me to, her dress is." She didn't need to finish that sentence. I know what she means. We can't spare a single coin. And yet I try one last time. "She'll be at school, you know." Her mother said she'd be home for this. I drag one foot forward, then the other. Mom nods and starts walking again. So here I am, lagging 4 steps behind her as we turn down River Road and cross the bridge to the good part of town, where the bigger houses shout out their importance to the world, trying to pretend that they're as grand as country estates. Their trim front garden boasts, "We have a gardener!" And their large front windows demand that you look at them so they can complain, "We have fancy furniture!" My face feels hotter and hotter. My footsteps slow. Mom stops in front of the house. Her house. "Are you coming?" she says. So I open the little gate and start down the path to the door. "Not there!" cries Mom aghast. "What has that school been teaching you?" She leads me around the side of the house, every window staring at me with dark, accusing eyes, to the servants' entrance. She knocks. A grim, gray-haired woman opens the door, plump and pasty-faced in her ruffled apron, her snow-white cuffs, her frilly fluff of a maid's cap. "They're expecting you," she says. I take a step forward, but she stops me with a look. "Wait here," she says sharply, closing the door in our faces. I can hear her breath as heavy as still air. Everything inside me is screaming to run and keep running forever. I struggle to keep my feet in place. I look at Mum. She's staring straight ahead, unreadable, impenetrable. Steps approach from inside. The knob turns. The maid pulls the door open and then stands aside, as they fill the frame. A vast battleship of a woman, awash in gray silk, and Caroline in a purple dress. A new one she's never worn to school before. I recognize it in a way. Mum was finishing the hand-stitching just last week. I know without a doubt Caroline put on especially to meet me at the door. The back door. "Well?" demands the battleship. "Thank you for seeing us," says my mother in a little disappointing voice. "Adelaide has something she would like to say." She looks at me. I take a breath, trying to steady myself, trying to ignore the anger and humiliation building in me, like a trapped steam. As I lift my eyes to speak, a victorious smile slashes across Caroline's face. I can't look at her. I look at the battleship, forcing the words out through my teeth. "I'm sorry for the trouble I caused." There's a pause. "Well?" she demands. I haven't said enough. "It won't happen again, Mrs. Whittington." "Don't tell me, tell Caroline." She turns her smirking to utter. I'm gritting my teeth so hard they feel ready to crack. Each word comes out tighter than the last as I look up at Caroline and say, "It won't happen again." "That's better," says Mrs. Whittington, taking an imposing step forward. "A girl like you should know her place." Before I can answer, Mom jumps in. "Beg pardon, ma'am, but Adelaide is leaving school to go into service." "Oh!" exclaims Caroline with relish. "That means she can't play the role. Too bad." I can't even look up anymore. All I see are the stone pavers beneath my feet, my clenched hands. The air reeks of Caroline's exultation. "And the green gown," says her mother, taking a step back again. "Will it be next week?" "I'll bring it for fitting in a few days, if it please you," says Mum. "Fine," says Mrs. Whittington, as crisp as a new iron pleat. She turns and walks away. Caroline lingers for a moment. "Yes, fine." She echoes a perfect imitation of her mother. The maid steps forward and shuts the door.